guys are bad. I'm not supposed to be answering all these questions. I'm supposed to leave, but I can't resist your questions.
What? I'm sorry? Did the commander-in-chief just walk up to the microphone and say, you guys are bad, I'm not supposed to be answering questions, like a kid who just got busted sneaking a cookie out of the cookie jar? What are you supposed to be doing, Joe? I mean, I'm sorry. Look, we've joked about this several times because it's not the first time he said that, but I need to know if the President of the United States of America, the one, we elected, obviously I didn't, but quit, but the one we elected, if he's not in charge, the American people deserve to know who is in charge. Is this entire thing some gigantic charade? I mean, it's one thing to say it's embarrassing that we elected a non-functioning adult as president of the United States. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for our country. It really is. I've said several times, I know it makes people mad. I really wish Kamala would take over. And I know she's the Antichrist. She's at least a functional adult. I'm embarrassed having this person lead the nation. But setting that aside, is this one big charade? Is all the conspiracy theory stuff you saw on the right in the beginning? I mean, not crazy conspiracy stuff, but just stuff saying, well, he's not functional. He's simply saying whatever on the teleprompter. He did have earpieces in during the debate, and I don't know if that's true, but what's all that stuff that we looked at and thought, oh, that's kind of crazy. Who knows if that's true? Was it all true? Do we have a president who's not a president? Just somebody shuffling around with his mouth hanging open at all times? Because that's a really big deal. I mean, you know that, right? It is a really, really, really big deal if the president of the United States is not really the president of the United States, and instead he has a bunch of radical left-wing nut jobs who are all around him, Susan Rice and others, and they're the ones running the country. Not only is it a big deal, it's something the American people should know about, right? It's something maybe, just maybe, the American press that spends all day long talking about speaking truth to power, maybe that's something they should dig into. I had somebody tell me once that the press secretary, Jen Psaki, half the reason she looks like she doesn't know anything most of the time, she doesn't have access to the president. Did you hear what I just said? The president's secretary doesn't get to talk to the president. Who does get to talk to the president? Where is the president in his day-to-day life? You remember when Donald Trump was in the Oval Office? There were cameras following around all day long. We knew where he was at all times. He's in the Oval Office. He's in the bedroom. We always knew where he was. Why does Joe Biden disappear for long periods of time? And why is nobody in our media flat out questioning the fitness for office of the President of the United States of America? I would love to know. He doesn't ever know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's doing. On top of what he says, he looks terrible. And yes, it matters. But what my eyes are telling me, they matter a lot. He walks around with his mouth hanging open, a bad sign. He shuffles his feet along. His arms are rigid and straight. He has somebody often, he takes them by the arm and they lead him. And again, in a separate scenario, I would simply say, okay, well, he's getting on in years. Maybe he has some dementia, Alzheimer's, senile, whatever the case may be. It's actually really sad. Let's not make fun of the guy. Let's get him some care and rest. We're all going to get older one day. That would be in any other scenario. You see, this person is the commander-in-chief. This person is the president of the United States of America. And if he's not fully functional, we have to know that. And we have to do something about that really soon. I mean, the guy's asked about Israel. You know what his answer was? You want to hear Joe Biden's answer about Israel? Here's your president.
Is Prime Minister Netanyahu doing enough to stop this violence there from escalating?
I had a brief conversation with him yesterday, and I have my intelligence community, the Defense Department, as well as the State Department, have been in contact with all of their counterparts not only in Israel, but in the region. And one of the things that I have seen thus far is that there has not been a significant overreaction. The question is how we get to a point where they get to a point where there is a significant reduction in the attacks, particularly the rocket attacks that are indiscriminately fired into population centers.
Wow, I feel better. I mean, boy, he's clearly all over it, and he has a plan moving forward. God, jeez. We elected that guy as president of the United States. We elected that guy. I still can't wrap my mind around that. Which brings me to something else. This whole pipeline thing and the gas shortage thing. You've seen all this, right? Colonial Pipeline runs a major fuel artery down the East Coast. Some Russian hackers attack it, get it shut down. We now have gas lines. Gas stations are running out of gas. And word comes out today, and I'm going to address this in a second. Colonial Pipeline paid a $5 million ransom to these people. What does your president have to say?
Ransoms. Were you briefed on the fact that the company did pay the ransom?
I have no comment on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
What? Okay, no comment on that. Let's address this situation really quickly. This is probably the biggest story I've seen come down for a year. And I really mean that. Of every other story you can think about, this hacker and then ransom paid thing is huge. Mr. Producer, record this because we're going to want to bring this back up again. Huge. Why? Well, it's not that Colonial Pipeline paid $5 million to hackers and they turned the power back on. And it's not that. What just happened was we, the United States of America, just sent up a gigantic sign to every single scumbag hacker in the world. And you know what was on that sign? You know what it said? Please come kick me. I'll pay you for the privilege. It is a huge deal that Russian hackers hacked in and shut down a critical part of America's infrastructure, our fuel lines. Do you have any idea how much of your country, your city, your state is online? Your water plants, sewage plants, power plants. You have any idea how much of it is online? Staggering amounts of it. If we have now told the hackers of the world, it's open season, please come just slaughter us and we'll pay you for it, we are about to have some very, very bad days in this country. You do not do that at all. And I don't care that it was Colonial Pipeline that paid them. The United States of America should have immediately stepped in and stopped said payment. In fact, I'm so mad about this, I think whoever made that decision at Colonial Pipeline should be thrown in prison. It's that big of a deal. This is a national security issue. You do not get to pay off terrorists when they try to come for a ransom. You don't ever do that. Why? Because then you encourage all the rest of them. You know, America's hackers woke up this morning and they got on their little hacker phones and they thought, wait, America paid? Oh boy. Hey, Vlad, get all the hacker guys together. It's open season in America, baby. I want to get paid too. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.